Top 5 of the creepiest disappearances throughout history. Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Here are top 5 of the creepiest disappearances throughout history. Number 5. James Edward Tedford. 56-year-old James E. Tedford and his 28-year-old wife Pearl Tedford had moved back to Vermont at the end of World War II. At the end of his second spell of military service, Tedford returned to their rented property in Fletchertown, Franklin, VT, to find his wife missing. His close family claimed they had no clue as to where his wife had vanished to. The only detail they had was that they last saw her walking to the Amoco store when she disappeared. Around 1947, a lonely James Tedford checked into a soldier's home after searching for his missing wife. 2 years later, James also vanished. On December 1st, 1949, James was returning to the retirement home from Vermont when he disappeared mysteriously. The route to Bennington passed through the Green Mountain Forest. At the time, the area was renowned for creepy events such as disappearances. All 14 passengers who boarded the bus testified to seeing him there, sleeping. However, when the bus arrived at its destination, James was gone. No one had seen the old man get off the bus at any point of the journey. His luggage remained tucked on the luggage rack of the bus. Number 4. Frida Langer. Between the 1940s and 1950s, Bennington had become notorious for the disappearance of more than half a dozen people. One of the creepiest cases was that of 53-year-old Frida Langer on October 28, 1950. Langer had gone hiking with his cousin Herbert Elsner when she disappeared. The family had set up a campsite near Somerset Reservoir. The pair had left the campsite to go on a hike in the nearby mountain. On their trip, Langer slipped into a stream. She requested Herbert to wait as she rushed back to the campsite and change her wet clothes. She never returned. Herbert headed back to the campsite and discovered Langer had not gone back to the campsite. They mounted a search operation for the next 2 weeks. The searchers used a helicopter and an aircraft in the search operation but couldn't find any trace of her. A year later, Langer's body mysteriously appeared near the same reservoir that the searchers had extensively combed. Due to the conditions of her remains, it became difficult to determine the cause of her death. Number 3. The Sodder Children. The disappearance of the 5 Sodder children is by far the eeriest case on this list. 5 of the 10 siblings disappeared under unclear circumstances from their home on a Christmas Eve night. Rather than head off to bed, the 5 kids asked their parents if they could stay up and play with their toys. The parents agreed and went to bed. Then a strange series of events began. The phone rang, and when the kid's mother answered, the voice on the other end asked for someone unknown to the mother. When she said she didn't know the person in question, the voice laughed and immediately hung up. As she heads back to bed, she noticed that someone had drawn up all the shades and unlocked all the doors, and the lights were on. The family was later woken up by sound on the roof, only to realize that the house was in flames. Luckily, the parents and 5 of their children managed to escape the inferno. None of the kids that had asked to stay up were in sight. The Sodders never stopped believing that their children were still alive, even when the official conclusion was that they had succumbed to the inferno. This sliver of hope was backed by a photo of one of their sons as a grown adult, emailed anonymously in the 60s. Number 2. America's Lost Colony. We have all heard of individuals like Jimmy Hoffa and D.B. Cooper who disappeared, leaving no trace of their whereabouts. However, it is weirder and creepier when a group of people, especially a large one, disappears all at once. This is exactly what happened in July 1587. About 115 English families landed on an island, now Dare County. As tensions grew between the local tribes and the newly arrived colonists, John White, the town's governor, sailed to England to seek supplies and help. When he returned 3 years later, there wasn't a single soul in the town. It was completely deserted, and all the town inhabitants had vanished. The only clue left behind was a wooden post inscribed with the word Crouton. It is not certain whether the Crouton native tribe killed or assimilated the settlers. Scholars also believe that the Spanish army may have wiped out the whole settlement. Historians can only speculate what happened to the colony since no concrete evidence is available. Number 1. The Sarah Joe. Maritime tragedies are not something new. However, things got weird when 5 friends failed to return from a fun fishing day in the Hawaiian waters. They had departed in February 1979 from the coast of Maui on a small fishing boat dubbed Sarah Joe. Family, friends, and authorities mounted massive search and rescue operations to no avail. A decade later, authorities received information on Sarah Joe's sighting on the coast of the Marshall Islands. Next to the wreck, they discovered a grave of one of the 5 missing persons. How the boat got there, who buried him, and where the rest of them were are questions that have continued to baffle researchers and historians. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.